being here, Bishop. How are you?
Thanks. Great to be here. Always glad to be here.
And we understand that your church, you've opened it up as a shelter as well.
Yes, on Sunday night, actually, we opened our church as a shelter and took in people. What an incredible thing to be a part of. People who were soaking wet, still fresh from the storm, traumatized, to provide for them a place of refuge and a place of hope.
As a man of faith, has Harvey even tested your faith?
Absolutely, absolutely. I tell people that because you are a person of faith or a man of faith does not mean that you don't get tested. And you know, if you're in the disciples' situation, they're on the boat with Jesus and the water is filling the boat, and it tested their faith like our circumstances test ours. But it reveals to us that if we really activate our faith in a time of storm, there is hope beyond it.
Well, they say that adversity creates character. I think adversity shows character, and it shows what you have. And I think Houston has really shown what we have here, a big heart.
Yes, I think that when this devastating harm hit Houston, it hit Houston's heart and woke up a heart of love and compassion and neighborliness that we've not seen ever before. We talk about and emphasize that this is a historic storm, the storm that's say of 1,000 years, but I tell you, it's historic love, it's historic action, it's historic commitment. You see the resilience of a people. We would never see this had the adversity been anything different. So I think that crisis is the womb of creativity, and wherever there's a burden, there's a blessing somewhere around it.
So you've taken people into your church has served as a shelter, and these people are coming in with very little, and it's very hard to guide them and say, well, you need to have hope. How do you convince them? How do you navigate that situation? Because, look, after going through so much, they're going to look at you and say, are you kidding?
Yes.
It's very hard to get to that place, so how do you guide them to that place?
No, you're so right. First of all, you got to deal with the emergency of the issue, the urgency, the fact that they're traumatized. If you're soaking wet and you don't have food and you know that you've just lost your car, your house, you just lost your heirlooms, and so much has gone down the drain, from a physical standpoint, the first thing is to throw your arms around them. And we trained all of our people to treat every person as an honored guest who comes into our environment. And that's the way we treated them and welcomed them, to really make sure that we dignified their humanity and reassured them of their sacred identity and value. Dry clothes, hot food, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, haircuts, makeup, everything that those persons needed to have to see themselves as a human being who still has value. Secondly, we loved on them, prayed with them, and shared with them that whatever you lost, you didn't lose the most valuable thing that you have, and that's your life, your breath. And began to help them to realize that there is life beyond this moment. And let me tell you, we've seen some amazing things. To see tears of sorrow and despair turn into tears of joy, to see laughter, to see children playing again, and the light comes on and says, hey, wait a minute, we are not alone. We are part of a fabric of humanity that says we don't exist by ourselves. Somebody's going to make sure that there is a tomorrow that doesn't look like our today.
And I want to remind people that we're taking your questions with our Hurricane Harvey Help Desk. The number is 833-243-5789. We're going to try to answer as many questions as possible. Now, Bishop Dixon, being a man of faith, I'm sure you've counseled many people.
Yes.
You act as a therapist in many ways. And there might be people out there that maybe they didn't lose a car, maybe they didn't lose anything in this, but they've been around Houston the past couple of weeks, and they've seen everything that's happened. They've seen all the pictures, and they may need to get some mental health help.
Yes.
What do you suggest?
No, we encourage that. You know, if you had the flu, we'd send you to a physician to get a diagnosis and a prescription. That might be an antibiotic. When you're dealing with mental and emotional trauma, there are specialists, there are doctors, there are licensed counselors and professionals, and even pastors and ministers who are counselors by trade who can help you process. That's very, very important. I believe that there is a condition called post-storm traumatic syndrome. And I'm hoping that people will get the necessary assistance that they need to process psychologically and emotionally and spiritually their new physical realities. That's very important. And then it's also important for people to remain a part of collective entities where people are constantly talking about this experience, and don't isolate yourself. The greatest danger is people who operating in isolation. Because in isolation, your depression can live. But if you're in connectivity of community, then someone is going to speak to you, hug you, love you, and remind you that you've got value, you've got a future. That's what Hope After Harvey is all about. Stay engaged. Please do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Bishop James Dixon, you have lifted our spirits, so thank you so much.
Yeah, and tell us about the project that you're doing with KHOU.
Well, I'm so excited. KHOU is such an amazing station, by the way. We're launching this campaign, Hope After Harvey. And I've been around here for several days talking to the people here, great management, great leadership. We want to say to Houston and to the region that
we'll have to talk about it more.
My time is over.
We're running out of time. Thank you so much,
We'll
Bishop.
tell you more about it.
We'll tell you more about it.
All right.